We're here. Sorry for the delay, folks. I'm sure, as you can imagine, we were just rushing to get on air and talk about that edge of your seat thriller. It was truly something. For the second straight game, the Calgary Flames find themselves shut out, this time 2-0 at the hands of the suddenly hot Minnesota Wild. Jesper Wallstedt gets his second career shutout. Flames haven't beaten a goalie in more than 150 minutes, and I'm calling this one penalty lasagna. It's Cami and Pike, your fishiest friends, this afterburner, this wonderful Sunday night. He can't handle it already. Oh, goodness gracious. And it's a presentation of Bet365, never ordinary, just like us. So download the app and get in on the game using the code NATION and get your super chats in to support youth centers of Calgary this evening. YCC gives kids whose lives are subject to a lot of chaos and uncertainty a welcoming place. It has stability, nutritious food, help with homework, healthy connections they might not have access to elsewhere. And those simple opportunities can be life-altering. And at the same time, you get to air your grievances and throw a whole lot of questions at us at the same time. So, Ryan, the NHL's worst power play garnered a single shot and 2 minor penalties, with 2 of those man advantages coming in the final frame with a pretty critical chance to tie this game.
Yup.
Thoughts, questions, concerns?
They played well enough to be within a goal after 40. A lot of the credit has to go to their goaltender, Devin Cooley, who looked, if you're looking for a positive, folks, Devin Cooley looks like AHL Devin, like first half AHL Devin Cooley, not post-January Devin Cooley. He looks like good Devin Cooley, which we're all excited about because Devin Cooley's a nice guy, and I imagine the second half of last year wasn't fun for him. So he, at the very least, he looks like he's where he wants to be in terms of his game. That's a good thing.
He gave them every opportunity tonight.
He made a couple like wacky diving saves. Like he looked like he was, if you're a goalie and you want to be challenged, he was having a ball out there. He did everything he could to give him a chance. Not much he could do in the goal against, which we'll get into. He was not in the net for the second goal because it's an empty netter. So they had what the boxing fans call the puncher's chance after 40, where they were a bloop, a bounce, something going off somebody away from possibly getting some points in this game. And then their power play in the third period, I think they had 3.5 minutes of power play and got 1 shot on goal.
Whew.
Yeah, it's not good. Officially, if you update the stats from NHL.com, the Flames are now, I believe, 7 for 60. They lead the National Hockey League in power play opportunities. They're tied for third last in power play goals scored. By percentage, they're 11.7%, which is 32nd in a 32-team league. And if you're a team that, let's call a spade, they're always going to have to, I think their game plan was going to be grind it out more or less even at 5-on-5, play a very structured, very boring 5-on-5 game, and then teams make mistakes and take penalties, make them pay. And half of that plan is not working out in a spectacular way because there's no universe where they mapped out. So our plan is finish 32nd in this category. So yeah, it's that's the game. They couldn't score, and
there
the
was
other
a
team
time
scored
very,
on them.
very recently, actually, where they were, aiming to rank in the top 5 of all of these categories. How far they have come, but good for Devin Cooley. That's a .944 save percentage. 6th time this season, Calgary has lost while out shooting their opponent, and they outshot Minnesota pretty handily. They doubled them up, actually, 36-18. And it was actually like a lot of things were really even, especially I think high danger chances were tied at 7 apiece. It looks like Natural Stat Trick ended up crediting the Wild with an 8th there, but do you think this was a game where the Flames deserved better ultimately?
I don't know, because they were right there with them, but if you look at the sort of the underlyings, a lot of their chances from the outside, which is a very Flamesy way to play. That's kind of been what they do. The last couple games, I don't think they've done a very good job getting inside. I think Minnesota did a lot more. The funny thing is, you go to Natural Stat Trick, there's actually kind of a donut in the slot of the heat map in terms of where they were getting chances.
The campfire.
And that happens to be a big spot where Minnesota got their goal at 5-on-5. So there's a lesson there. I think on paper, Minnesota arguably has a more skilled team. Kirill Kaprizov, I think you mentioned off air, the owner of the NHL's richest contract ever for now. He was good. He had some looks. Matt Boldy scored a goal. He was good. They have, Joel Eriksson, I think, is sneaky good. Marcus Johansson playing his 1,000th NHL game. Nice Swedish boy. He was good. Like they have a lot of good pieces, and I think
I always forget Tarasenko's there.
So do I. Sometimes I forget Tarasenko exists, but he's still hanging around. But even the Wild Blue line, Brock Faber is very good. Zeev Boom is learning the pro game in the third pairing, which is becoming a pattern in the NHL this year, more or less. So to answer your question, I'd say based on the heat map, I just don't think they got enough down in front of the goalie, like Jesper Wallstedt. Yeah, sorry, I know I did that once already too. Yeah, Jesper.
We know it's a yeah.
Yeah, Jesper Wallstedt, he saw pretty much everything, and because he saw pretty much everything, he stopped everything. And if you don't get, I use the Justin Wolf principle that unless you're taking away his eyes, or getting to redirections, or jamming in rebounds, or otherwise making the goalie hate you for being anywhere near the blue paint, you're probably not going to win. And the Flames didn't do enough of that, and they didn't win.
Yep, there was some, but not enough. We got a couple super chats we'll get to here. RMB, his favorite topic, Weegar's #1 fan. Weegar -2 tonight, now -16 this year. Worst in NHL. Factually correct, my friend.
He's chasing that green jacket.
Sure is. Would appear that way. Yeah. Not great. Not what you want. Dylan Simpson, $5 for YCC. Thank you so much. You Centers of Calgary deserve our money more than Murray Edwards does. Everyone who is thinking of buying a jersey or ticket, donate instead. So happy to have Tom Morello joining us on the chat tonight. Rage Against the Machine, pal. And one more from Dan Miller here. Mission McKenna. Hi, Ryan. Hi, Cami. Hi, Dan. I really love your picture of the cute dog. Ryan was even saying early, he's like, by the time we get to game 41, he's just going to start asking people to send in pictures of their pets.
Yeah, the super chat probably by midway through the season, if things keep trending this way to keep morale up, we'll just share pictures of our pets. Mm-hmm. My dad's dog. My dad is the type of person, because my mom bought a whole bunch of outfits for the dog. My dad goes to the trouble only on special occasions of dressing the dog up, and you can tell my dad and the dog are both just sort of embarrassed by it all, but you got to do what you got to do.
That's very sweet.
Yeah. It's a good time.
I got attacked by a dog when I was little, and my parents made us get a dog because I was so scared of them. I wouldn't walk on the same side of the street as them. I was like, okay, she's got to get over this. We got to get a dog.
And to follow up on R&B's favorite topic, Weegar -16, second place right now, Matt Coronato -13.
Okay. Is it time to talk about Matt Coronato for tonight?
We might as well. That seems like a decent enough segue. I don't think I'm going to tee up better than that one.
Yeah, you know what? Nobody was shooting more than him, even in the last loss to Chicago. He had a career high 11 shots on net. That actually stands as one of the highest shooting games by a Flames player ever. The actual record is 13. So just throwing everything at the net, nothing sticks. Again, he gets 5 shots and a block tonight, but some costly penalties at really bad times and some poor giveaways kind of turned the tide. And listen, he had a great net drive in the second period that ended up drawing a hooking penalty. I think it was Frost picked off that attempted breakout pass from the Wild.
Yeah.
It sends it hard the other way, and Coronato's just a little bit wide, and it draws the penalty. But off the face-off, he catches Brock Faber with the high stick.
Yeah.
4 seconds of power play time they ended up with.
I just realized it. So so Coronato draws that penalty by Brodin. Then 4 seconds in, gets it wiped out. Then he draws the Kirill Kaprizov penalty, the late one in the third period, and then that gets wiped out by a minor penalty with 30 seconds left. So he ends up being his penalty differential ends up being in the green or the black. He was he ended up drawing more than he took, but at the same time you're like, oh buddy, you just have no luck right now, do you?
None. None. I think he was also one of the unfortunate souls that got caught in the 7 men on the ice debacle.
I still don't know how that happened. I know there's one Wild player who saw them going for a change that I'm just going to get in the way. And it's not interference because he was still moving his feet. But it's also like you're going out of your way to clutter up their changing area as much as you can because you're being sneaky. And it worked. On the replay, they almost had 8 guys on the ice. Like, it was very obviously a too many men penalty, but it was all the one Wild player whose name I forget was not helping. Or maybe he was.
Only one?
Only one. There was one directly sort of in the bench area, like just sort of skating around in the 3 feet in front of the bench. But then there was some guys just sort of cluttering around the gate area. Like, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Clever boys.
Yeah, you gotta earn your doubloons somehow. The worst part about that too many men penalty is that Jonathan Huberdeau scored like as it was happening, and it looked really good. And it just didn't. I mean, we knew like immediately, like, yeah, that goal wasn't going to stand. It came like maybe a second after the whistle went for that penalty, but every time it seemed like something good was cooking for the Flames, just something came back and did what happened to Faber and took one in the can.
Yeah, it's
unfortunate taps.
Yeah, that'll happen in a contact sport occasionally.
Sure would. Another super chat from Dylan. Cami, can you explain the judo throw bet to the chat? And if Mike makes us wait much longer, can Ryan also judo throw him? Yes. Okay. So Mike Gould has a lot to say. And sometimes we get a little bit heated with each other. And at the drinking show last year, we were talking about our hidden talents. And one of mine was that like I actually had a green belt in judo. And I said that I could probably throw Mike. And then we said, if we ever get $50 in the super chat, I will flip him on air. Straight up.
I'm pretty sure you have gotten that much in super chats, though.
I think cumulatively, I don't think we have in a single show, though. But there was also a show where I hurt my shoulder and I couldn't lift anything.
That's true.
So I think we should let this stand. I think this should be maybe for the Christmas show this year, we'll clear a space over there and have a soft landing spot for him.
And I will point out, folks, that typically some of our most well-attended post gamers on Afterburner are the ones against the Edmonton Oilers. And coincidentally enough, the Flames play Edmonton on December 23rd. Relatively, I think I can't remember if we set a date for the Christmas show yet, but if you're looking for a reason of the season and a way to provide a nice contribution to our friends at Youth Centers of Calgary and also fun physical violence, you can feel good about 2 things around the holidays. That December 23rd show might be a good one. The Flames also host right after Christmas the Edmonton Oilers on December 27th because there's no better way to spend the holidays than battling the Oilers.
And if you want to feel better, just remember the Flames may have lost, but they sure didn't lose 9-1.
Oh, did you see the post-game clip of Chris Knobloch?
No, tell me everything.
So Chris Knobloch was asked, I think by Mark Spector, but one of the reporters asked, essentially the question was, is there concern about goaltending or do you think the players are concerned about goaltending? For context, Stuart Skinner started that game, gave up 4. They put in Calvin Pickard. He gave up 5. So the guy that replaced the starting goalie who got lit up worse than the starting goalie did. So if you're an Oilers player, you're probably thinking, oh God, they both got wrecked. And Chris Knobloch, his answer, he just sort of pauses as if lost in thought for about 8 seconds and then goes, then he starts his answer. But his answer is essentially a longer way of going, oh God, I don't know. But yeah, just the 1,000-yard stare after the question was the most just befuddling thing I've ever seen. I had to watch.
It's also like, what can you do? What can you do? Whatever you say in that press conference is not going to fix anything that's going wrong.
I think a better answer would have been, well, I mean, let me break down everything that we did wrong in every goal, because that would have been a longer answer, but it would not have been as crazy. But
true.
So yeah, the Flames did not lose 9-1. I don't think they've lost. cumulatively in several games combined, they might have lost 9-1, but not in all one game yet. But
We're busting out
consecutive
the
shutouts, though.
calculators tonight.
Consecutive shutouts. Yeah, we were busting out the calculators to figure out how many periods it's been since they beat a goalie. You checked my math. You made sure that I added correctly.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at what went wrong with the first Minnesota goal here. To me, a lot of it looks like the Flames are just so desperate to get something going. It's where you can almost feel something shift on the ice at times where one thing goes a little wrong and things kind of fall out of system where every guy is like, I've got to be the one to stop this. I've got to be the one to stop this. And you start seeing 5 guys play one-on-one hockey rather than in their system. And it was like in one of those sequences where the Flames were, really reaching for pucks, trying to do everything to get something going. And that's when the Wild strike. There was a really great breakout pass from Eriksson Ek, I believe, to Johansson to bring it up the wing. And there's just nobody on Boldy there. You can see Kadri sprawling, trying to get a stick in the way, but
it's like defense.
He's too far ahead.
Hanley goes to deck a guy to play the body instead of the puck, ends up making some good contact, but loses the puck entirely. Then Weegar does the exact same thing, and all of a sudden, both your defensemen are out of position up along the wall, and you have Matt Boldy, who is a good player, wide open. And bless his heart, Devin Cooley, he's a good goalie, and you're going, okay, if you give him that chance to make that save, he does it maybe half the time, maybe, but you don't want to put him in the position that has to do that too often. And yeah, this kind of reminds me of the game they played against Chicago, where it was sort of the same kind of thing, but in the offensive zone, where everybody's just pressing so hard in the offensive zone in the third period. I think Mackenzie Weegar's exact phrase was, "I don't know why did we think we were losing 4-0 all of a sudden?" Like they thought they played like they were down 4 goals to begin the third period and needed to score 1,000 goals to catch up, and so they were taking like weird overcommitment chances in the offensive zone where everybody gets caught up ice because they're pressing too hard. And all of a sudden, poor Mackenzie Weegar's left back defending a 3-on-1 and a 2-on-1. And then Morgan Frost gives the puck away. Some mistakes were made with that game too, but this goal felt very much sort of, there's connective tissue in terms of the motivations behind the mistakes, where it's not like they're doing silly things. You can understand why they're doing them, but you're also going like in real time going, oh, buddy, just ratchet it back like 5% or 10% and just play that position, but don't pull yourself out of position trying to make a big hit or make a big play. Just make a smart play.
Exactly.
That's what happens when you're not scoring and when you're sort of on your heels a bit, right?
Yep. I got a super chat here from Shrimp on the Barbie. 120 minutes, no goals. Murray's core. Oh, yeah. People are going to be dining out on those comments for a while there. You mentioned what Weegar said a little bit after the last game, but he also called out passengers. Do you think we had passengers tonight?
I think they were pretty good. I think Minnesota's a good team. They had home ice. They're, what I think? Minnesota is pretty much like a
recently good.
I would say Minnesota is kind of like the funhouse version of the Flames, where they're very similar structurally. They're sort of they have a reputation dating back to Jacques Lemaire as being like the most boring team in sports. For a while during the Jacques Lemaire years, if you had an infant that couldn't sleep, you'd say, "Let's go to a Wild game." Everybody
similar to the Flames. Where's the 17 million AAV sniper on Calgary?
But yeah, they have a team that knows how to play very dull, keep on the outside, donut in the slot for scoring chances against structured hockey, and they happen to have some young guys they've gotten to the draft who can occasionally make a great play like Matt Boldy did on that goal. Like you have the talent that you can kind of see if you're the Flames, you can squint and go, okay, I could see us being Minnesota. Sprinkle in a couple of younger players, maybe Cole Rejny can come in and be a Matt Boldy kind of level player. That could be helpful. Like,
Boldy was a 12th overall. Rejny was 17.
Like maybe throwing a Cullen Potter, maybe when the Swedes pops, maybe that Russian kid. There's some stuff that can go on that doesn't involve a draft lottery necessarily. But you can see, you can look at Kaprizov and go, okay, I can see what happened. Life gets easier if you're bad for a year or two, eventually. But yeah, I didn't think they were especially bad. There wasn't a lot of the game. I mean, they outshot them by the margin they did. So if it wasn't like they were completely run out of the rink. They were on the road playing against a team that plays smart structural hockey and happens to be able to execute on their chances. So, I think tonight was a better night, but still wasn't good enough.
I think in my third period notes, I have it written down last chance ? Like 3 different times. And it's all these power play chances. You see Huberdeau had a really good chance on the back door. We had a really good play where Backlund drove the net and just trying to get to the dirty areas. And Coleman does the right thing and follows him in, but, just can't get that rebound. Wallstedt was just not letting a lot of rebounds go, getting the whistles where he needed to. And like you said, playing smart hockey. And that's where Weegar takes that tripping call to deny Eriksson Ek breakaway. And that's where it felt like the air really came out of the team. And of course, that's followed up by Kaprizov getting that empty netter where Kadri did the Matthew Tkachuk dive light and just kind of chucked his stick. It wouldn't have counted even if the stick got it out of the way.
Guaranteeing the goal counts by throwing your stick. I don't hate the impulse, but the execution, not quite as good. Yeah, it's just one of those games.
Yeah, and I saw a couple of comments in the chat talking about sell. Are you an Arrested Development fan?
Yes.
Oh, God, we're having a fire sale.
Save that stuff for the trade deadline.
Though?
Save that stuff for the trade deadline.
But we were talking about timing earlier. Is now the time? Is there ever a good time? Is it bad to tinker for the team and just the mental capacity of everybody in that room when things are bad? Is that pouring diesel on the fire? Or is it worse to do it if they had strung several wins together in a row and there's a package out there that management feels is right for a certain player? What is the timing?
I don't think you ever want to do anything from a position of weakness. I mean, do you sell your house because you're broke and you need money? Do you interview for jobs when you are, your rent is due and you're overdrawn, you don't want to do anything from a position of desperation because you're just going to accept dumb deals because you need to accept a deal. So I think, if their philosophy has always been, you don't want to make a trade just to make a trade, I think you have to stand pat and hope that someone eventually meets your price. I mean, is this ideal? Certainly not. But I mean, I'll say this for Craig Conroy. He inherited, I can't think of in my time covering the Flames or watching the Flames as a young gaffer, just the idea of, I can't think of someone who inherited a more insane set of circumstances in terms of, everyone's not sure what to make of the coach. Everyone's not sure what to make of new management. By the way, you're inheriting 7 guys who are pending UFAs. By the way, the guys that the last guy got for you during that chaotic offseason, not really fitting in quite well. You're not really sure how that's going to pan out. And so there was a lot of unknowns, and, you could have just gone to the draft, sold everything off just to clear the decks and be like, I don't care what price I get. I just want to have my life be simpler. And instead they played it slower and a little bit more, deliberately. And so I think that's the kind of template. If they got through that year, I think they can get through this year. But I think they're going to have to maintain that kind of deliberation in terms of, okay, if you're not necessarily saying no to phone calls, but you always have a price in mind for guys, and you're not going to move guys, A, just to move them, or B, when the team is reeling. Because if the team is reeling and you trade, let's say, a Nazem Kadri, I am not reporting Nazem Kadri is being traded, I'm just using it as a hypothetical. All of a sudden, okay, the team feels like doesn't have their feet on them. And by the way, you just trade away their best center. That's kind of a gut punch. If you're going to be transitioning at some point into more of a developmental model, which I think they're probably going to have to at some point, because the math of the standings will simply smack them upside the head and say, this ain't it. This ain't happening this year. Then you want to have the ability to have those kids be put in positions to succeed. And case in point, I think Jan Kuznetsov has been fantastic. But I think Jan Kuznetsov has been fantastic because he's been put in situations where he's playing with guys that have similar styles or styles that complement him really nicely. And as a result, I think he's played 3 very nice games of the Flames this year. And so Sam Honzek, good example. They have 2 guys with really complementary play styles to Sam Honzek, and he's playing on the tough minutes checking line, and he's doing pretty well because he's with guys that help bring out the best in him. So I think if you're going to be going forth and making some moves, I think you be deliberate about it and you go, okay, at some point Rasmus Anderson is probably wearing another jersey. So the nice thing is you have Hunter Brzdevich probably feeling pretty good about his game with the Wranglers that potentially could be moving up. And you have guys who've been in this system that can help him rather than go, screw it, trade everybody, and then we'll just bring up the Wranglers and see what happens. Bring up the Wranglers and see, if you use the phrase, see what happens.
It would be like that South Park episode where the little kids get to play the Colorado Avalanche.
Stanley's Cup. That's a classic episode. But yeah, like that.
Did they play Colorado or did they play Detroit?
They played Detroit. They're playing in the Pepsi Center at the now Ball Arena. And they pulled the entire team is like, we're going to give these little kids a chance to play. And they just got destroyed by the actual Detroit Red Wings. And it was amazing. But yeah, like you want, if the idea is that you want to turn the season into a developmental asset, something that'll help, you look back at this year and go, well, the year wasn't a total loss because, look, they managed to find a role for Kuznetsov, find a role for Honzek. When Parekh gets back, hopefully help move him along and those kind of things. If that's what this is going to turn into and that's what success starts to look like, then you have to figure out a way to build that into what you're doing rather than sort of be reactive.
I mean, you said his name. We know now. We haven't had a show since the news dropped, but Zane Parekh now week to week with an upper body injury after taking that hit from Foligno and leaving early in Friday's game. That is a really tough break for a teenager who's been trying to carve out a role on this team and find his place in the National Hockey League. Yeah,
it's definitely not good. I think the nice thing for him is at least that, I think he's someone that has a really high standard for himself, and it matters to him so much doing well and helping this team succeed. And I think you can sort of sense a little bit of frustration creeping into his overall game, which I think is natural for, I think a lot of guys in that room are frustrated of any age. So I think him having some time, even if it's just a few weeks, if he's, we haven't been giving a timeline outside of week to week, but if hopefully he's able to come back and get some World Junior time in, because I just like the idea of him being able to sort of clear his head, feel good about his game, go off, light it up in Minnesota, then come back and, come back to the team in whatever form will be that team at that point, whoever's on the roster come early January, and, be able to feel like he can contribute rather than be like, I've, a guy who's hardly really played, sort of been in and out, sort of not really been able to carve out the role that he's really wanted and not really contribute the way that I think he really wanted to contribute. So thankfully it wasn't worse. I think anytime you see someone take a hit like that, you go, ooh, even if it's a clean hit, that was just the way he went to the boards and the glass was not conducive to success. So hopefully that's the last time he has to eat the glass like that, because it was not pleasant.
No, not great. But again, we're going to lighten things up just for a brief moment in time and shout out our pal Derek Newman. Derek Newman Group helps keep the lights on in this joint, keeps Ryan well lit, provides the product for his hair to keep him looking so nice on these programs. But if you are buying or selling in the Calgary area, Derek is your guy. He's got the people first approach. He builds super strong relationships and lasting friendships with clients. Obviously includes us. He's selling our house, helped us just get a new one. And I know it's going to be a bummer when it's all over. Hopefully we still see him around again. Gonna still need to get those FaceTimes from Jays games, other events, but he does absolutely everything. They'll do the staging. They'll take the pictures. They'll even clean your house for you. Make sure you get the best deal possible.
If at the Jays game, do you think if he was in a position to catch a foul ball, he'd hang up, or would he just use his free hand to try to catch a foul ball?
Well, he's 6'4", so he'd be able to catch a.
You can probably do both.
Yeah.
Stay on the phone and catch a foul ball. Find a kid to give it to.
I was always with John Bender. Well, Bender would hold the phone for him.
Bender's a good guy like that.
Yep. Teamwork. If you're looking at buying or selling in the greater Calgary area, give Derek a call at 403-619-6661 and he'll make it easy for you. Make him put his network to work. For you. There was another game that was way more fun going on tonight.
A championship game.
Sure was. Did not end the way we wanted, alas. But CPL final, Snowball. Like when we thought Commonwealth Stadium turned into Ice Teca, this was on another level. How many snowplow breaks were there today? There was so much snow in Ottawa for the final between Cavalry FC and Atletico Ottawa. One of the netminders actually started shoveling.
I think at the beginning of the broadcast, they're like, okay, the referees decided every 15 minutes we're stopping so we can shovel, so we can at least make sure we know where the lines are, so that, if we need to call a penalty or we need to say someone's offside or out of bounds, we need to know where the lines are. So just out of necessity, they had to stop every 50 minutes to just shovel the lines. And then at the end of regular time, they had to bring out the snowplow and do the whole field because it was getting so bad. That's
basically
amazing.
had to Zamboni this thing. I think we got a couple of videos coming, but I mean, it was so bad in Ontario today. Even in the U Sports championships, the bronze medal game was not played. They just awarded both teams the bronze medal and said, sorry, we got to get the field ready for the gold medal game later tonight. Thank you all for coming out. Wild, but it was a heartbreaker for the Cavs. They ended up falling 2-1 in extras, but this was kind of an all-time game that probably got a lot more eyes across North America on the CPL. It's Cavalry's first goal there from Fraser Aird.
Yeah, Fraser Aird. Apparently on the broadcast, they mentioned that supporters were throwing snowballs at him in celebration of his goal, which I find adorable, but also, really, guys?
Soccer
Snowballs?
fans are a little nefarious.
Yeah. The foot soldiers traveled well, and they apparently thought it was fun to throw a snowball. Just don't hit him in the face. As long as you don't hit him in the face, like he tried to score more goals here.
Yeah, but it was David Rodriguez had the brace to seal the win. He scored late in the first half, scored in extras, but he had a bicycle kick goal in all that snow.
It was pretty. The 1-1 goal was pretty sweet. Like,
it's incredible. I think we have it.
A bicycle kick goal in the snowiest game in history.
Like, how is the ball still rolling?
Whoa. And you're landing on the snowy, frozen ground.
I'd say hang it in the Louvre, but it'd probably get stolen.
Yeah. So Cavalry fans, it's a hell of a season. They had a great second half. They beat Forge in the semifinal. They do not, unfortunately, win. They do not, unfortunately, get to go play in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Champions League? Champions Cup? Champions something. Champions Cup. They do not play in the CONCACAF tournament, which means that for the first time in 2 or 3 years, they will not have awkward, weird February football held in a home game in BC and then playing in Mexico or wherever. But hell of a season. They've had a really
great.
good run.
Well, I mean, it's so hard to repeat in this league, and it's kind of the same as the Flames and the Oilers. Just beat Forge. You'll be okay. Just beat Forge.
They've beaten Forge,
and
I think,
they did.
Last 2-3 years in the playoffs.
Well, last year was the first time because they had to beat them in the final.
Oh, because they beat them in both legs. Yeah. They beat them in the semi to make the final, and then they beat them in the final because it's a weird 2-leg fun.
Yes. But
I love their system. It's so weird.
I'm confused now, but I don't want to spend that much more time on it because there was other stuff that went on this weekend. Wranglers also lost 4-1
they
to San Jose.
Lucas Siona had a nice deflection goal on the power play. Adar Suniev starting to get some points going.
Love to see that.
Yeah, there's some good stuff happening.
Yeah.
Matt Vigridden, unfortunately, did not have much heroics this weekend. He took a weekend off from being a hero to merely be a pretty good hockey player. They've got some stuff going on there.
They're cooking. They're caramelizing onions down there. It takes a while.
Yeah.
Our Grey Cup weekend is set.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Who's playing?
Rough Riders, Alouettes.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. It'll be wild. Actually, some controversy for Saskatchewan. They beat the Lions 24-21 on the final drive of the game. 7-play, 76-yard march down the field. But the winning touchdown, BC's owner got on Twitter today with all these screenshots saying, like, did the ball touch the turf first? Did he have control? Is this a touchdown? Obviously, there's nothing to be done about it now. But there's some humming and hawing about that on social media. And like, it was super close for Montreal and Hamilton as well. Obviously, Bo Levi Mitchell over with the Ticats, but 19-16 for Montreal on a walk-off field goal.
That's a tough way to lose.
Crazy.
I mean, it's a fun way to win, but a tough way to lose.
Yeah, so Grey Cup is coming up. Saskatchewan, Montreal, in Winnipeg, all sold out on Sunday the 16th. Corey Mace making his head coaching debut. He won one as a player with the Stamps. He won 2 as a D-line coach with Calgary and 1 as a D coordinator with Toronto. Montreal's looking for a second Grey Cup in 3 seasons. Sask, first since 2013.
Who's doing the halftime show?
Machine Gun Kelly.
Huh. Okay. I don't know many Machine Gun Kelly songs, so I'll watch it.
Everything I know about Machine Gun Kelly is I've learned it unwillingly.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
You're watching a video of a artist you like and you go, "Oh, Machine Gun Kelly's in this." You go, "Oh, okay."
No, it's just more like you see these unpleasant headlines about what she thinks he would say about his relationships. It's like, oh, I remember when you were a rapper.
And then he was a country musician. What is he now?
I don't know.
That rock album that I listened to half of unintentionally, and I watch the halftime show. The CFL, the Grey Cup's usually a good game.
He's versatile.
Grey Cup's usually a good game.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes the artist is not for us. I think that's what everyone should say to themselves when they really hate a halftime artist. Maybe this isn't for me.
It's for the youths.
Yeah. But they tried doing that with Alessia Cara, and then she got like bullied out of the spotlight for a couple of years. I hope she's well. She's talented.
Yeah. If you don't like someone's art, just don't buy it. You don't need to go on social media and get into their mentions and tell them they suck. Just don't buy it. Yeah. Just stun them with your silence. Whereas was it? You used to watch. You watched The Office, right?
Yes.
You know the shunning.
Yes.
Yeah, you're slapping someone with silence. It's the best way of doing it.
There you go. There you go. Good place to watch the game. That would be down at the Unicorn.
Good place to watch
on the 16th. Good place to watch everything. Super Pub. They got 2 of them. One on 8th Avenue Southwest, the other on 4th Street Southwest. They got everything going on. They got the hockey, football, soccer, UFC, and they got all the fun games, Golden Tee, Buck Hunter, pinball, darts, all of it. The game day is $7 pints. If it's a Calgary Flames home game and you're over on the 4th Street location, you might just have a couple tickets tossed your way to walk on over to the Dome and take in the action for real. Although you will not be paying $7 for a pint of Molson Canadian there.
Yeah, it's a kind of place where if you get the free tickets, maybe have some drinks before and after with some appies and such at the Unicorn.
Good wings. Great wings, actually.
The whole menu is pretty good.
Yeah. I think I just always get the wings. Gould, it has to be on like 50 regular season orders of gyoza by this point.
It's true.
You'd think the boy would bulk up.
No, but that makes him easier to flip.
You got to tell people about what happened to him the other day.
That someone thought he was me?
Yes.
I don't know much. There's not much of a story there. I think in our Afterburner group chat, he's like, someone came out and said, "Are you Ryan Pike?" And apparently they were disappointed when he said no.
Tough sledding.
No one's ever come up to me and asked me if I'm Mike Gould.
Do you want them to?
Not really. I don't know if I'd be insulted or not, but I don't know how I'd react. I wouldn't react well.
Yeah. Who would you want to be mistaken for on this podcast?
On this one? Probably maybe Pinder, but I don't. My hair's not as nice as his. It's not quite as luxurious. But we're both tall and loud, so I mean, we're both named Ryan, same last initial. So I can see that happening.
Well, there you go. There you have it. Just keep on working on growing that out. You'll get there one day.
Oh no, it's gonna get oily and stringy very quickly in all the worst ways. So keeping it short's in everyone's best interest.
Thank you for that. Let's take a look at what team the Flames might be able to score a goal against here in the road ahead. Next up, Tuesday, Remembrance Day, wrapping up this 2-game road trip in St. Louis. St. Louis also in the basement of the league, leakiest team in the league. They allow the most goals, I believe, right now, unless they've been surpassed. And I think they're at 62 right now. They fell 4-3 in overtime to Seattle on Saturday, and they dropped 2 separate leads in that process. Thursday, back at the home to host Macklin Celebrini, Tyler Toffoli, and the San Jose Sharks.
And Will Smith. Don't forget the Slumber Buddies.
Yes, love that for them.
Did you see the bobblehead?
Oh my gosh, I love that.
The greatest thing ever. As an aside, Mark Lazarus from The Athletic was in town when Chicago was in town, and he did a piece on the Connor Bedard, I believe Frank Nazar bromance. Their roomies on the road, adorable. There's a trend of adorable friend, platonic friend couples throughout the NHL, and I don't know where this trend came from, but it's providing us all with amazing, very, very pleasant content that needs to be protected.
It is very pleasant. We almost had that here. I think it was like a rite of passage to see Andrew Mangiapane and Rasmus Andersson whipping around on scooters downtown.
Yeah, and now they're wearing different jerseys. And as we saw in the chase, Andersson thinks that Mangiapane looks terrible in orange and blue. I mean, it's a weird color. It's a weird color combination. Anyone, no skin tone works well with that jersey. But yeah, San Jose, Celebrini, Will Smith, and
they're on a 6-game point streak too. They're 5-0-1 on their latest run. They beat Winnipeg 2-1 on Friday, and then on the second half of a back-to-back, they take down Florida 3-1. Come on now.
They're a sneaky good team. Like they're like disclosure. My cousin is a Sharks fan. He loves the young players in the Sharks. He does not think they're going to be very good yet, but we had a defenseman to that group. All of a sudden, like, oh boy, they could be cooking.
They got my favorite short little defenseman in their system. They got Luca Cagnoni. He is so fun to watch.
Yeah, the Barracudas are a fun team to watch. They were in town to face the Wranglers this week. Pretty good team. Pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. Lots cooking there. They got Carson Wetch with the Kelowna Rockets. Will be playing in the Memorial Cup. He's the captain down there. He's been doing well since he got back. But back to the road ahead. Saturday will mark the third and final tilt of the regular season against the Winnipeg Jets. Jets have lost 2 in a row. They do remain atop the Central Division leading into tonight's action. Then you get the good old road back-to-back. Love that. Tuesday, November 18th in Chicago. Bedard had a goal and 2 assists tonight to, at least for now, take over the NHL points lead. 4 points against Calgary on Friday. All of them are primary points. He has the goal and 3 first assists. He's on an 8-game point streak. And then you get the second half of the back-to-back. It's a hop, skip, and a jump to Buffalo to face the ever-struggling Sabres. Bottom of the Eastern Conference, on a 2-game skid right now. They're without star defenseman Rasmus Dahlin for the time being, as he and his partner in Sweden tending to a medical matter. So hope all goes well for them. But winnable games, but it's like you got to get, it feels like the next goal is going to have to be the dirtiest goal you've ever seen just to get him off the schneid.
When's U.S. Thanksgiving? That'd be the 27th or the 26th? Chad, I'm not good at knowing when days are. So if you guys happen to know this faster than we can look it up. Because I think one of the benchmarks that you can look at in terms of, okay, when are the Flames going to have a good old think about where they're at? I would argue be U.S. Thanksgiving. And
is it the 27th?
I think it's the 27th. They'd be in Florida for that during on a 5-game road trip. That just looks like it could get away. Like, this is another weird one. As much as we're going, man, Chicago, Buffalo seems like kind of an illogical back-to-back with travel. Don't know why that happened. They have, after that, the 23rd and the 22nd and the 23rd. 22nd, they're at home against Dallas. Then they go to Vancouver on the Sunday. Then they go Tampa, Florida, Carolina, Nashville to close out November and begin December. That could be kind of a painful week unless things get course corrected very quickly. We'll see what happens.
Kind of.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, That's The Road Ahead is brought to you by Platinum Mitsubishi, family owned and operated by lifelong Calgarians. At Platinum, the lease and finance rate start at 0%. You can get ready for winter with a brand new Outlander, Eclipse Cross, or RVR. You can also try out Canada's best-selling plug-in hybrid, the Outlander PHEV, and you can get into the best-backed cars in the country with a standard 10-year powertrain warranty at Platinum Mitsubishi, 2720 Barlow Trail Northeast. Go say hello to Michael.
And I was today years old when I learned that the P in PHEV is plug-in.
There you go.
It's a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle.
Learning lots on the show today.
So if you learn one thing a day, folks, you're gonna live a decent life, and try not to unlearn things that you learned before. Because once you get to a certain age, just things go in one ear and they just force something else out.
Yeah. Hopping back into the super chat, topic of the night: R&B back for more. Weegar is a passenger. Trade Weegar. Fire Huska. Alas, he just got that nice 2-year extension, so don't know that that'll be happening anytime soon.
Yeah, and R&B, I'll respectfully disagree on the passenger thing. I just think he's trying too much. I think he's trying too hard. I think he's a guy who cares a ton, and I think when you care a ton and things ain't going your way, and bless his heart, Mackenzie Weegar may not have a high skill ceiling, but as a 7th rounder, he's got where he is by just working his tail off. And when things aren't going your way, and that's how you're programmed, that's how you respond to stuff. And I don't know if this is going to be a situation where he on his own can work his way or work the team's way out of it.
Weegar is performative. Oh, that's a devastating accusation to level at a man in this day and age. Have you seen the performative male contests?
I've seen some of it. Yeah.
I'll send you some.
It's
good
funny.
Content. Yeah. Now we got Boxcar Jimmy. Embrace the suck, folks. I'll never cheer for the boys to lose, but if management won't make the moves we all need done, then all we can do is embrace the suck.
And I believe our dear friend Kent Wilson recently did a column for Post Media about, I think his phrasing is the ethical tank.
Yes.
Where you're not making the team actively worse, you're just not fighting gravity, which I like the phraseology of it. I don't know if I agree with the entire philosophy behind it, but Kent always has some elegant phraseology. So if you haven't read it yet, head over to Post Media. I believe it's Kent's most recent or second most recent piece. And I believe the folks at Post Media have a newsletter or something. But if you look up Kent Wilson, you will find various Kent Wilson accoutrements, so to speak, along with a lot of wine recommendations from Kent, which is always good.
Oh, that is nice. Anything going on tomorrow that we should look ahead to for Bet365?
Well, remember how we were talking about Canada's great hope, the Edmonton Oilers, Canada's team with Connor McDavid, Evan Bouchard, and whoever's in goal now.
At practice this weekend.
Whoever's in goal, whatever poor soul they have in net at any given night. Well, they're back in action on Monday evening when they face the Columbus Blue Jackets, and I don't know what to expect from this game. They are favored over Columbus as the home team. Columbus, they were in Calgary. They went to Vancouver. They're going, I believe, to Edmonton to either continue or finish off the road trip. Either this is going to be a very tight checking game or this is going to get away from someone very quickly. And I don't know what direction it's going to be. So pick your poison.
Those are two 500 teams right there.
The over-under is 6.5 and the over is favored. So
I wonder why.
There's a combined 10 goals in their last game. I mean, the other team had Cale Makar and Nathan McKinnon and Valeri Nikushkin and every number of other very fine offensive players. Columbus, I don't think, has as much offensive depth as Colorado, but they're no slouches. They have the ability to turn a game very quickly. So, yeah, that'll be what we're looking at for tomorrow on Bet365. There's a bunch of other games. I do not know who's playing Monday Night Football. I did not look. All I know is last week it was just an absolute clunker of a game, which turned me off from looking at it for the Bet365 this week. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, will the Edmonton Oilers give up 9 again? I mean, in one game, probably not. But I don't know. That's why we watch the games.
That's why it is sports betting.
Yeah.
Remember, Code Nation, get in on the action. Oh, that'll be a crazy one. I can't fathom that many goals anymore.
At a certain point, what do you even do? I remember I believe in the Saddledome, they actually only budget a certain amount of propane or whatever the fuel is for the blasting the fire off. So I think after they score like 6 or 7 goals, they don't have any more fire come out. There's like, just cheer. We have nothing to help you guys with. Just, just look happy. It hasn't come up a lot in recent years, but I have been at a game or two where they got close to running out, and it was always just funny watching the staff go, "Oh God, they better stop scoring soon because we're gonna run out of fuel." They really want you to run out of fuel though, so if the Flames happen to ever score 9 in a game, I'm pretty sure we're gonna test the limitations of the fuel supply of the Saddledome, and then we can write about it because that'd be fun to write about.
Well, maybe one day the great Zippos in the sky will go dry. They kind of look like lighters.
I wonder if they're going to bring those to the new building where they're going to have.
That would be cool. I hope there's like some tribute to the Saddledome.
They're going to have a plaque. I don't think they
more than a plaque. More than a plaque.
All I know is I confirmed that Yves Boulanger's mask from outside the north entrance is going to be in the team store.
For sale?
No, they're just going to have it on display.
Okay.
They're not selling that thing. It's the only Atlanta stuff they brought back.
Do you think they'll do what happened with the old Forum and have the seats for sale? People can come buy chunks of the dome before it goes down?
Just they demolish the building and you can grab chunks of the roof. Bring roof chunks home with you.
That'd be pretty funny, actually. The number of people, someone is a lifelong Calgarian if they tell you, my parents were in the Olympic opening ceremonies or my grandpa worked on the roof of the Saddledome.
I don't know. Logistically, I'm not sure what they're going to do, but I think the city is going to be handling that. I don't know. I will ask. That's on my. I have no word of a lie. I have a list of 45 now. This is question 45. I have a list of 45 questions to look into between now and A, when Scotia Place opens, and B, when the Saddledome's demolished and turned into development land. People want to know, can I get seats? People want to know, people want to find out if they can buy any of the leftover equipment, because I believe all the equipment in Scotia Place is going to be brand new. So I don't know. I have to look into so much stuff.
If you want to have a sad and think about what it's going to look like when Old Beautiful goes down, the Washington Capitals used to have a very, very, very similar building. The Capitol Center
in Landover. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Small,
what was it called
beautiful.
For a while? US Air Arena. So it was newer than the Saddledome, but it got demolished sooner. And the implosion is on YouTube if you want to watch it and get sad.
Do we want to get sad?
I mean, we're already a little sad.
Oh, another arena with a similar design. Is it still up? Yeah, it's still up. That's still open in Gothenburg, Sweden. The amazingly named Scandinavium.
That is a good name.
Yeah. See? Look at this. Look how cute that is.
Aww.
And they've got a McDonald's. I'm pretty sure that's an old photo, but look at that. That's the Scandinavium.
Fresh.
Yeah. And I believe there's one in the north side of Phoenix that also has a beautiful parabolic roof.
We should map them all out.
We will. And then we can do nation vacations to visit all the old arenas. We'll all get a group photo in front of the Scandinavium with a framed photo of the Saddledome in front of us. And we're all just looking sad.
We're going all the way to Sweden. We're going to the ABBA Museum just for kicks too, though.
I mean, I think we have to. Michael Backlund would be mad if we went to Sweden and didn't go check out ABBA. And you don't want to make Michael Backlund upset.
No. If he gets upset, will he score some more goals?
That's out of my wheelhouse.
Just kidding. Tremendous person.
That's out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah. Well, if we want to be less sad, if you want to have something to look forward to this season, Jasper Pond Hockey Tournament is back. It's at the beautiful Fairmont Jasper Park Lodge, January 23rd to 25th, 2026. That is 3 days of pure hockey paradise on beautiful Lake Mildred, surrounded by your best buddies and the Rocky Mountains. 4-on-4 pond hockey in the heart of Jasper. Teams up to 8 players battling it out for the coveted Jasper Cup. And if you make it to the finals, you're skating away with some exclusive prizes to prove it. Some of the ones they brought back last year were unbelievable.
They had some good swag last year.
Oh, it was great. But it's not even just about the hockey. Like, obviously, you have the watch parties, all the off-ice shenanigans for all ages, the prizes, and hanging out with the Nation Network crew, plus some appearances from some pro hockey alumni. So grab your buddies, get registered, and get ready for an unforgettable weekend in Jasper. And that's going to be filling up pretty quick, I would bet.
Yeah. And folks, if you end up going, here's some advice. So Pinder's open to being approached at all times. He's very social. He's very gregarious. Pinder loves to hang out. If you see Boomer, just be a little, just don't pounce on Boomer. Let Boomer come to you. Boomer is just one of the nicest men in the world.
He'll hiss at you and scurry back into the shadows.
You gotta. Once he's comfortable, then he'll come to you. You go to Pinder. Let Boomer come to you.
It's like when you look at dog adoption websites and they tell you about how to socialize them. Yeah,
exactly. Just be aware that everyone has their own personal comfort zones and respect them. And once you got that in mind, it's a great time.
There we are. Well, everyone, I think we're just about ready to wrap this thing up. If you have any last questions or comments you want to throw our way, now is the time. We said we were going to keep it to a crisp 35 before we started. Here we are.
Yeah. We went as long as we needed to. And then, Monday on the site, we got the mailbag. And plus, okay. I did some investigative journalism on conditioning stints. I got on the phone. I called some people. I said, you don't know who I am? And they said, actually, we do. And I'm like, oh, no. Well, you haven't hung up yet, so you might answer my questions. So some of them answered my question.
Look at you.
I felt bad.
Digging hard.
I felt bad bugging people on the weekend, but someone gets injured on a Friday, you gotta bug people on the weekends.
Hockey hours are hockey hours. You're working 24/7.
Yeah. Till the Olympics. Then I might have a nap.
Yeah.
Or what are we gonna do for content during the Olympics? Are you doing Afterburners during the Olympics?
I don't know. We should figure that out. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Okay. And if anyone...
I'm trying to remember what the time difference is to...
I think it's 8 hours.
Cortina.
What?
Not terrible.
Yeah. I think it depends how screwed up our sleep patterns are.
I don't think any of them are... None of our sleep patterns are good.
Yeah. Anyone in the chat or in general, if you're in the chat, let us know if you would like us to do anything.
If the people in the chat are still with us, they're clearly unwell enough to stay up to watch Olympic hockey into the wee hours. Yeah. Say it lovingly.
Hey, all I know is Flames Nation is becoming a Czechia and Slovakia based website for the Olympics because of Hanzik and hopefully Pospisil and probably Klapka. The idea of Adam Klapka being an Olympian makes me smile. He's just a big puppy dog. We'll be crashing and bashing and apologizing profusely for accidentally knocking people over. He'll just crush some poor Norwegian kid and be like, I'm so sorry. It'll be adorable.
We'd love to see it.
I don't think they medal, but I don't know. I'd love to see Adam Klapka in the Olympics. Think about the poor soul. If they want a medal, he's so tall. They're gonna have to get like a step ladder to put a medal on his neck.
I'm sure he has the dexterity as a professional athlete to lean over a little bit.
Oh, he's polite. Yeah. But you kind of want to see what they do. We'll see.
I don't know. You kind of do the best you can with the tools you have.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like doing basketball interviews. Even if you have a little box, you're still kind of.
Hey, we talked to Miramanov after Saturday's practice.
Oh,
and he had his skates on, and we're all like,
you know who else was a giant? Keegan Kanzig.
Very nice young man.
Yeah.
Calgary Hitman alum.
Mm-hmm.
Victoria Royals alum.
Yeah, I think he's back here. I think he's a firefighter now.
Well, that's a good job for him. For him.
I don't know. Last time I saw him, he was with Mike Moore. So obviously still in that realm. Still part of the Hitman family.
Hey, once you join the Hitman family, you're never out of the family. It's like the Mafia, except with Bret Hart and Farley.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
A Mafia, except with a legendary professional wrestler and an anthropomorphic fox.
I'm shocked we don't have a statue of him somewhere in Calgary yet.
I think we can probably go. He has a banner. We're the only NHL arena with a banner of a professional wrestler in the rafters.
This is true. It's a good banner.
Yeah.
I love those pink jerseys for him.
I heard it's moving.
Good.
It's gonna head to Scotia Place.
All right, Shrimp, we stalled as much as we could for you.
Yeah.
We did our darndest, folks. 2-0. Flames shut out for a second straight game, but they did not lose 9-1. The boys have plenty to chew on when they're back for Barn Burner tomorrow, but thanks for hanging out with us tonight.